learning about how to avoid pregnancies and STIs. We're going to be focusing about a city called St. Louis, and it's in the state of Missouri. 554 out of every 100,000 people have gonorrhea. That is an STI. 1,283 out of every 100,000 people have chlamydia. That is also an STI. And because of that, we can assume that there's a very high rate of unprotected sex in that city. Now, we're going to talk about contraceptives. And this is how to have protected sex. There are 3 different types of contraceptives: barrier methods, emergency contraception, and permanent contraception. Any questions?
What are barrier methods?
Barrier methods, such as a condom. There are male and female condoms. Condoms are the only contraceptive method that prevent against pregnancy and STIs. But note, they have to be used correctly. They're very easy to use, as you just slip them right on, and they're a cheaper alternative to many other contraceptive methods. They're also very easy to find. You can find them in your local convenience stores or local health centers. They are very easy access. Now we're going to be talking about emergency contraceptive. So this is, you would only have to use if you had unprotected sex, and it can be used up to 3 days after that. An example is Plan B, which is a pill that a woman would take up to 3 days after unprotected sex. It could also be used if the condom splits during sex. Yes.
Can any guys use emergency contraception?
Not this method. No, it does not generally work because it targets the fetus in a woman. So guys cannot take that. It would be very harmful to them. Permanent contraception. Vasectomy for males and tubal ligation for females. So we have the images here. So for females, you tie or cut the tubes there. And for vasectomies, you do the same for the male, right there. And you still have sex. It just prevents babies from being made from either the sperm in the male or the eggs in the female. They cannot be made. It is also a permanent method. It's the only permanent contraception is the only permanent method of contraception, whether you know it or not. Also, usually cannot be reversed. So, yeah, it's very permanent. So make your decision wisely. Safe sex. Do you have a question? Yes, class. Any questions? No. Okay. Moving on. Safe sex. It is a practice that prevents pregnancy and STIs because you want to be safe, right? There are condoms for all types of sex, such as dental dams for oral sex and normal female-male condoms for vaginal sex. You should get tested regularly for STIs, as you do not want to have any of those, and you can get yourself into some real legal trouble if you are caught with them and transmitted them to one of your sexual partners. Remember, safe sex is great sex. You never want to get caught with STIs. Yes?
How do they test for STIs?
So you would go into a doctor and they would take a urine sample, and from that they would examine that. Yes, thank you. And they would find whether you had certain types of STIs or not. Now, moving on to our final subject. Oh, yes, another question.
What's the difference between an STD and an STI?
They are the same things, except it was determined by the government. I'm pretty sure that sexually transmitted diseases sounds like a more negative term, and it sounds like a very bad thing. So we changed it to STIs, which is sexually transmitted illnesses. It sounds a bit better. It's not as much as a derogatory term. Now, into STIs. So STIs are transmitted through unprotected sex. That's where condoms and other kinds of contraceptive methods come into play. They are transmitted through all the types of sex. You could also have an STI without knowing it. Some of the STIs do not have any symptoms with them, or the symptoms come a lot later after you get them. That's why it's very important to get tested regularly to see if you have them. Also, condoms, as I stated earlier, are the only kind of contraceptive that protects against STIs if used properly. So condoms protect against unwanted pregnancies and STIs as well. And make sure to get regular checkups, as I stated a few times. That's very important. If you are active sexually, you need to get regular checkups. Yeah, so this was really towards the community of St. Louis, Missouri, and we want to make sure that a lot of communities practice safe sex. They don't have to get STIs, and STI levels go down. Yes, question?
How often should you be tested?
It depends how sexually active you are. So it really is up to you, but a safe way you could say is if you're pretty active, you should get tested possibly every month. Or if you only have it a few times, maybe every year, it's really up to you. It's a personal decision. Here are some of our sources that we used to put together this amazing PowerPoint. And thank you, and remember to be safe. Any final questions? No? Thank you.